Hi, my name is Abhishek. I'm a legal intern at Lexington Company. So today's my topic is what is cyber squatting and its position in India. So before proceeding with the topic, I request you please like, share, and subscribe to channel Lex Click. So let us talk about what is squatting. So by relying on the definition given in the case of Delhi High Court in Manish Vish versus Indra Chugh, the Indian courts have defined cyber squatting as an act of obtaining fraudulent registration with an intent to sell the domain name to the lawful owner of the name at a premium. So in cases which an individual or a company register a domain name and such domain name is identical or similar to a trademark of any other party and maliciously tries to sell the same for the profit, this is known as cyber squatting. So due to the fall in the price of domain names and increase in many top level domains, it has resulted in the cyber squatter making a lot of illegitimate profits. So in order to make illegitimate money, the cyber squatter then sell the domain to a person or company who owns a trademark that has been used in the domain name, which may be said as a sort of ransom, as that particular domain name has already been registered by someone else. That particular domain name cannot be registered again in the name of the trademark owner. So in this manner, the cyber squatter infringes the fundamental rights of the owner of the trademark or to use its trademark. So next, let's talk about the categories of cyber squatting. So cyber squatting is possible in many ways, and however, the typo squatting is the most popular form of cyber squatting. So it relies on the fact that the people using the internet are bound to make typographical errors while entering domain names into the browser. Some common examples are such as if a person omits dot while entering the domain name like www example.com, and here he misses the dot. So a misspelled name of the intended site like example.com, which should be like example.com, and a differently phrased domain name examples.com, which should be example, but it's but the user writes it's examples.com, and and any other top level domain like example.org. So the other fact that a cyber squatter relies on is that the case when the holders of the trademark himself owns the domain name and he often forgets to re-register his domain names. The registration of the domain name is not for a fixed period, and this domain name is not re-registered prior to its expiry. Then the domain name can be purchased by anybody. In such cases, the cyber squatter registered that particular domain name in their name, and this process is called renewable snatching. So what are the legal scenarios in case of cyber squatting? So US Anti-Cyber Squatting Consumer Protection Act ACPA of 1999, and in this act was introduced with the intention of providing protection to the trademark owners of distinctive trademark names against the cyber squatter. So in this, the victim has two options: to sue the cyber squatter under the provisions of anti-cyber squatting Consumer Protection Act ACPA, or use of the international system of arbitration by Internet Corporation of assigned names and numbers. So the jurisdiction is always the matter of problem in the case of the courts. So according to the courts, the seat of the trial should be the place of the plaintiff, the defendant, or the place of the service provider through which the name is registered. So the World Intellectual Property Organization WIPO Arbitration and Mediation Center has taken a step to provide an internet system for administration of commercial disputes involving intellectual property. So this is a unique form of dispute resolving mechanism that is introduced to be used for both filing or evidence for document exchange, and it is an efficient and inexpensive services. In such a mechanism, the arbitration takes place online. So internationally, the United Nations Copyright Agency provided an arbitration system wherein a trademark holder can attempt to claim a squatted site. In 2016, there were 823 complaints filed with WIPO, which was a 25% increase over the 2005 rate. In 2007, it was stated that 84% of claims made since 1999 were decided in the complaining party's favor. It is an agency which is specialized to form a balanced system that is easily accessible. So now let's talk about the position in India. So in India, the victims of cyber squatting have been provided with a number of ways to deal with, such as sending cease and desist letter to the cyber squatter, opting for arbitration under ICANN's rules, and going for a trial to state or federal court. In order to bring the case on a fast-track form of resolution, a case could be filed with the registry handled by National Internet Exchange of India. So in India, the Information Technology Act contained no provision to punish cyber squatters, and this is the drawback of our ID Act, because it last amended in 2008, and since then the technology is completely changed with the rapid speed. So the IT Act does not provide for any legal compensation, but the registry has taken steps to provide compensation to companies who are the victim and to discourage the squatters from further stealing domain. So let us talk about some cases in India which are likely are cyber squatting cases. So Yahoo India, Yahoo Incredible versus Akash Arora, which is the famous case in cyber squatting. It is the first case that was reported in India regarding cyber squatting. So in this case, a plaintiff was a registered owner of the domain name yahoo.com. He obtained an interim order which restrained the defendant from dealing the name yahooindia.com or any other trademark similar to the trademark of the plaintiff. Another case is Tata Sons Limited versus Ramada Soft. In this case, the defendant had a domain name registered in the name of Tata. It was held in this case that domain name not only involves the address but also the trademarks of the company. The domain name in this case was similar to the plaintiff's trademark, that the defendant had used the names with the malified intention. So these facts entitle the defendant to transfer the domain names in the favor of the plaintiff. So the next case is SBIcards.com versus Domain Active Property Limited. So the administrative appellant in this case said that the defendant, an Australian entity, had a registered domain name which was registered with the malified intention, and it could have attracted attention from the public because its affiliation to SBI Cards products and services. So on concluding this topic, I recommend that strict laws are required in this field to punish squatters and avoid these crimes in future. Legal remedies should be given to service mark and the trademark owners to protect them against defendant who obtain domain name with malified intentions. So the plaintiff should have an option of obtaining statutory damage, and this will act as an important tool for the trademark holder in the protecting their intellectual property in the online world. So that's it. Thank you.